about, I visited somewhere, I'm not quite sure, but it was an Amerindian village. And they had a school there. Children were absolutely lovely. But I noticed that everyone spoke English. They didn't speak their native language. And when I actually spoke to the principal of the school, he said that they don't teach the language there, the native Amerindian language.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think that's something that they should keep?
Well, there have been some work done in some areas. I know the former Junior Minister of Education, who tragically died by accident, had done a lot of work compiling dictionaries and so forth of various Amerindian languages. But if you go into the south, you will hear them speaking their own language. And I have, of course, I travel there a lot. If you go into Region 7, the Akawayo, they have their own language. If you go into the Pakaraimas, you have another set of languages. And if you go into the south, in the Makushi area, you have another set of languages. There are about 9 tribes in the country. In the south, the language is better preserved than on the north, in the coastland area and the north of the country, as such.
Do they still have chiefs?
Yeah, Tushos. They call them Tushos, captains, yeah.
All right, so viewers, make sure when you come to Guyana, you do visit. There are tons of tourism spots. Next question. And this, to be honest, I've had tons of viewers always emailing me about this. So, as you know, the archives of Indo-Caribbean history in Guyana are in complete decay. Each day, and with each visitor, someone loses their history. Trinidad and Suriname have each put in place preservation procedures and institutions for this effort. Does the Guyanese government have any such plan?
More than plans, and we have. I know that what you're saying there is true to some extent. That a lot of records were not kept in a very good way, and maybe not very kept in the right way. But we have recently built new archives, not very far from here, by the way, just up the road here. A new archives where we are housing all of these important documents. And I do know that some people, I don't know how many, I've never really tried to check myself, how many, but I do know people still go there if they have some information of their ancestors, where they came from in India or so, or if they know what ship they came from, and so they still go and find some of this information, and they go searching for their relatives in India. So I don't think that the question is, probably the question should have been asked 10 years ago. But of recent times we have built a new archive where we're housing a lot of these important materials.
And Mr. President, what's the name of that building?
It's named after Walter Rodney. It's named in honor of the memory of Rodney, but it's the archive, the Walter Rodney Archives, I think it is called.
Well, for the first time in history, the opposition party has won 1 extra seat in Parliament. How has this affected you as president?
Well, it has certainly created a new political situation in our country. One that we can work as an opportunity if the opposition are serious in cooperation. I am ready to work with them if they want to work to build our country together. However, from what I've seen happen on last Thursday in Parliament, I am not encouraged that they have that orientation. You know, in our parliamentary democracy, in the Commonwealth as a whole, it is a tradition that the governing party holds the position of Speaker of the National Assembly. There are some exceptions, and the opposition holds the position of the Deputy Speaker.
Trotman.
When we were winning the elections outright, from 1992 to 2006, we stuck with that tradition. We could have taken both the speaker and the deputy speaker. We never did that. And here are the people who claim that they want to have inclusivity and consultation and inclusive governance. I met with them on more than one occasion. We raised this subject. I put forward to them who was my candidate. And they would meet behind my back and elect and take both the speaker and deputy speaker of the National Assembly. Does not create, in my view, the kind of atmosphere that would be conducive to working together in a very close way. But as your question is a slightly premature in a way, because the Parliament is now starting. The first session was only to elect the speaker and swear in the parliamentarian. So we will have to see how it goes before we can make any kind of judgment of what can happen and how things can develop. Whether we turn the situation into an opportunity, or whether whether it will not work out for the best. Yeah.
How do you feel about Trump as the speaker?
Well, I don't know how he will behave. We will have to see that, how he behaves. I know he came out of the PNC. You will remember the executive of the PNC. He has been.
He's now part of the AFC.
Yeah,
right?
he's with the AFC, but he's not a newborn babe. He has been around for a while. He was in the PNC during some of the worst times of their excesses with violence on the road. He was in the and he defended he was in the executive of the PNC then. He was in the PNC when you had the criminal violence, when the criminals escaped from there. And he was one of the leaders of the PNC who used to be visiting Buxton. So how he behaved, let's see. He's now in the position, we'll see how he behaved. I had proposed Mr. Ralph Ramkaran, who has a record, who was in the parliament in the last 2 terms, 2001 to now, who demonstrated fairness and integrity in the National Assembly, who himself was praised by the very opposition for the way he conducted the business of the parliament. So I was giving them a person who was tried and tested, and a person who they themselves accepted as running the parliament in a very, very fair way. How Trotman will do, we will see. That's ahead of us. That's not behind us.
Well, I do hope all the parties can work together to benefit Guyana. I mean, this is the first time that everyone will be given an opportunity to actually work together and have a say.
Not really. I mean, we have always been open to the opposition, for consultation and to work with them. That we have always been ready to have an open position and to work with them, even when we have the absolute majority. We have been ready to work with them. So we have always been pushing for cooperation within the society as the way to go forward.
Well, hopefully this situation will help develop Guyana even more.
Hopefully.
Mr. President, what do you want to be your single biggest achievement as President of Guyana?
That's the most difficult question you've asked for the whole night. I don't know if I want one thing, or if that will satisfy me. I would want to hopefully to leave a country that is developed in a very strong way economically, that they increase the quality and the standard of living in our country for all the people, to put an end to poverty. And at the same time, on a more, something that is less material, I would like to see that we develop, Guyana is a very multi-ethnic, multicultural society.
Yes.
And I would like to see, although I think we've come a very far way, but I would like to see even a stronger level of integration and unity within the society. I'm not saying that there is not, And I said we have come a very, very far way. People relate with each other very, very easily in our society. And we're gradually developing a new Guyanese type of culture from all the different backgrounds that we have come. So I hope that my presidency will promote that and to help to cement the unity of all our people so that we can all be very proud Guyanese.
Excellent. Do you have any programs intact to help the people of Guyana, or should I say encourage the people of Guyana, the youths especially that are going to school and being educated, to stay right here in Guyana and help develop the country here rather than going overseas?
A lot of that will also depend on how much our economy will grow. Finding jobs for them, for those who are highly qualified and so forth within the society. But my own sense at the moment that there probably is a beginning of a slowdown of the migration abroad. I don't know if that's just because of the crisis in North America and things are becoming more difficult. But in the totality of things, in the development that we plan to have, like I said, cheap energy, etc., those things that I think will generate enough jobs, enough with the facilities that we're putting in place as well. I strongly believe not only will we be able to stem that, you won't be able to stop it, and we don't want to stop it because it's good for people to travel and get ideas and new ideas and so forth. But I think that we can even attract back many Guyanese to our shores.
Mr. President, you recently developed a new Ministry of Natural Resources. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Guyana has become, in recent time, there's a strong interest now in Guyana on questions of mining, as you mentioned from the very beginning. There are a lot of Canadian companies here. You know, Canada has the strongest mining companies in the world, the biggest mining country, and they have been coming here a lot now, and Guyana has become, I would say, a destination for a lot of big cooperation in looking for minerals, looking for petroleum, prospecting for these things. So I think the time has come for us to develop a specialized ministry to look at all of these things, to develop specialists, to start to build specialists in this field, because they will be dealing with some huge corporations.
Yes.
And we need to sharpen our own skills in doing these things. So my own view that the new ministry is a very necessary one, taking into consideration the great interest that is being shown to Guyana as a destination for mining at this point in time.
Mr. President, for the viewers who are watching you at home, what message would you like to leave for them as the President of Guyana?
Well, first of all, I would like to extend to your viewers, I would like to extend best wishes to them. I would like to also say that even though that they might be far away, that their support, their moral support and solidarity is important for us, to develop our country here. And those who have become very successful in the business, Guyana can be a destination for you to come and invest and benefit from the opportunities that this country has to offer.
Well, Mr. President, it was indeed an honor and a privilege to have you on the Let's Talk with Lakshmee TV show. I wish you nothing but the best, success, and hope to see you develop Guyana so much, very, very more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's talk with Lakshmee. Here we go now.